squeeze the income ranges, right, to kick folks up higher on that tax table. So a lot of folks really need to take a look and come up with a plan in the next 12 months or so to do some tax planning to keep more of their money in their pockets.
Right.
So that was my big takeaway, right? And try to get you some, some passive income versus that earned income
Exactly.
to keep, like you mentioned, to keep some of that money in your pocket.
Facts. And that's what I wanted you to reiterate about getting that not really extra job because you're in the same boat, but I'm talking about as far as using some of those strategic ways to you take your money to not only earn money, but even take that money to save in taxes, the way it's almost like you're earning money as well.
Right, right. I tell people, I think the easiest way to put that is it's like, hey, if you save $10,000, isn't that the same as you making 10,000?
Right. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you really gotta look at it from that approach, right? Because that's $10,000 that you can go do something else with, even if it's go have some fun with, or take your kids to Astroworld or whatever. It's still $10,000.
Classic Astroworld.
Right.
The days go back in time. I'm in the time machine.
Right.
You know what I mean? What y'all got? Y'all want to open it up? Go ahead. What do y'all think about that clip? I know this is more tailored towards our financial advisor, but it got to do with real estate as well, because you could take that money and then put into real estate.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, either way, regardless, you need to have your money making money, not just sitting in an account where you may be getting less than pennies on a dollar while they're taking your money and exponentially making additional money off of it. So they're pimping your money and give you crumbs. So you might as well do something with it yourself.
Crumbs to bricks.
Right.
That's a classic song, man.
Yeah, it is.
What else? I mean, again, my takeaway, just to reiterate, is get with Patrick and get a game plan together.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Pat, when you talk about squeezing, when they talk about the sunset of the Trump initiative on taxes, were you saying, are they going to squeeze the income requirement? So right now, if you're over 250,000, that means you won't get that extra incentive. Is that what you mean when they say squeeze the income? Is that what you meant?
No, so that's not where I was going. I wish I was actually could share my screen, but on the tax table,
share your screen, man.
I don't have the chart pulled up.
Oh, okay.
But on the left side of the tax table, it has 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, and then to the right of that will be the income ranges that fall on those percentages, right? So up to 19,500. 10%, right up to 24,499, 12%, so on and so forth. And so I'm saying they're shrinking that income down. So a good example, somebody who makes 115,000, they're in the 24% tax bracket or tax table, right? That's where they fall. I'm saying in 2025, what it'll be, that same 115,000 could be 32% on the tax table.
Ooh, that's nasty, man.
That's what they're doing. They're
That's
shrinking
nasty.
the income range. They're not gonna change the numbers on the left because too many people would throw a fit about that. But what they do is they'll shrink that range, and so you move up on the tax table because of that.
Man. I mean, a rental spoons restaurant.
That's what I was referring to. And if you look at a 100-year chart of taxes here in the U.S., we've been at historic lows. Right, in World War II, taxes were like 80 or 90%, right? And so we're at historic lows. If you look at that chart, it does something like this: it bounces up, and then it comes down to where we are now. And with all of that government funding and spending from the pandemic, the only way they're going to make that money back is to do what? Everybody
raise taxes. No new taxes.
Raise taxes, but generate more tax revenue. And they're going to do that by squeezing those income ranges down.
Man.
Let me drop a bomb, just to show that we come with some nuggets, man. Here on the we're talking real estate podcast, and Patrick, you can stop me if I'm not telling the truth or correct me, because this is not my era. I'm not a fiduciary, but from my studies, my library here, that income is taxable. Compensation is not. So that means you could switch your income to compensation. Don't forget that your 115 is your taxable income. You can shrink that. It's all on how you file it.
Right. So you're talking about after you add in your expenses, deductions.
No.
Hey, this is in no way financial advice.
Right. I'm not a financial advisor.
Is that what you're talking about?
I'm asking a question.
Get that disclaimer.
Income is taxable. Compensation is not. Am I correct?
I'm no tax guru, but tell me what's the difference? You're getting paid either way.
But income, but according to the tax laws, income is taxable, but compensation is not.
What is compensation?
But compensation is essentially you getting paid. It's the same thing.
What is compensation?
Not according to the law.
What is compensation?
Because compensation doesn't have to be identified by a dollar amount.
Right.
That's the only loophole I can hear in that. You could be compensated with a car. You could be compensated with a piece of land. You identify what your compensation is.
But it's still, regardless whether it's a thing of value or whatever,
but that's the thing.
It's still going to be taxed on it.
There's a dollar amount.
No.
Compensated with income versus compensation. That's the only loophole I can hear him talking about right there.
Look, if you go back to an example where Oprah was giving away cars, right? Giving away Baron Spanking New. It would lead to what you're saying. That would be compensation because it's a thing of value. They still had to pay taxes on that.
Oprah paid the taxes when she bought the cars.
No, Oprah got the tax deduction for
when she bought the cars, but then the company got the deduction on the back end.
Wouldn't that be considered a gift
on that car?
Yes, the person that got it,
they still charge taxes.
But that's a gift, and that's not compensation, right?
Right. True. Gifting. Yes.
No, it's still gift taxes, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to caught me on that.
I think that's the only thing I can think about is compensation. Yeah, it doesn't.
The only income that's not taxable is if you're pulling out value from something that's an asset already, right? If you're refinancing your house, you're pulling that money out, that's tax free. If you get a loan, that's tax free. You have cash value life insurance, you're pulling that value out of there, that's tax free. Because the other form of compensation would be capital gains, and that's what Buffett was saying. That's taxed at a lower rate, but that depends on where you fall on the tax table. So you could have 0% in capital gains if you only made $50,000 last year, as an example, right? So you can get those gains for free. Not for free, but without capital gains tax. Other than that, you're liable for the taxes, but whatever you do, in regard to your tax planning, you can bring that liability number all the way down to zero and get a refund. And I think that's where Brandon was going, but just saying those two words is like, nah, I can't follow that.
Need more context.
Right.
I don't want to go too far in because we could talk about this all night, but there is a loophole. Not really a loophole. There's a strategy of how you word it and how you want to be paid out. So right. if you have an income, then you're liable for the taxes. But compensation, you could get is against the law to tax compensation.
You could call it a pig or a sheep or whatever you want to call it. If that money hit your account, Uncle Sam on his. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but you're saying, look, I don't care what you got. Uncle Sam on his.
If you're a business owner, there are different ways that you can pay yourself, and I think that's where Brandon is going with it. Right. A good example, and I won't dive into my personal, but with my business, I pay myself a salary. It's small, but I pay myself a salary. And then I do owner draws, right, once a quarter. And so those are taxed at totally different rates, right? And I think that's what Brandon's talking about.
Well, as the W-2, then you're considered income. If you're a part of, and I'm not gonna go too much because we'll spend all the, but it's a thing that the wealthy use, and we'll probably have to have a whole show about it, but. There's a difference. Just like a person technically is a corporation. if you're talking legalese. So
call your tax attorney.
Right, please.
That's what I learned from a tax attorney.
Yeah, let them call in.
So I think Barry done froze, man.
No, I'm here. Mine was freezing up, but I think I'm back now.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go to the next clip. I don't want to be too long on that, but that is a strategy. I just want to pop that. I ask you, people that's listening, ask your tax attorney about that. Ask your financial advisor. Or get with Patrick here, and I'll fill Patrick in off air. But that is a strategy, man. We need to strategize on paying less taxes because there are strategies out there for that, and it's not a bad thing. It's a smart thing. As long as it's within due bounds. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and get the next one. All right, here we go.
Before they hit the auction date on PropStream, check it out.
So let's assume you were on PropStream looking up properties and you come across this property that shows this pre-foreclosure details tab. You want to click on that tab. I know you guys seen it before. You want to scroll down to the trustee and attorney information section. This is going to be the company that's in charge of foreclosing on the property and collecting the debt on behalf of the lender. All right. So you're going to have the address, name, and the company phone number. All right. Some information may not be there, but you're going to have enough to find out who is in charge of that. So what we're going to do is a simple Google search of the phone number. We're going to search Google for the phone number, go to the website. And once we get to the website, we have to look around and find out if they have a list of these pre-foreclosure properties. Now, full disclaimer, not every website is going to have a list of the properties. That's just how they are, right? So in this example, we got one. So we're going to look at practice areas, go to real estate default, and then we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to foreclosure sales. And when you get to this page, what you want to do is you want to select your state. Let's go Florida, and we're just going to leave it as is. You can narrow it down if you want some more, but we're going to leave it as it is. And you're going to see the actual auction sale date. You're going to see the case number. You're going to see the property address. And in some instances, you're going to see an opening bid amount for that particular property. Now, all you have to do is find out who the owner is of that property, skip trace that address, and then reach out to that contact.
Now, that's a gem for your ass. I'm about to put you guys on game on how to find pre-foreclosures before they hit the auction date on PropStream. Check it out.
So let's.
All right, so that's kind of geared toward Hyman, our wholesale expert here. And but I would say CJ as well, because you get a lot of people that's waiting on these pre-foreclosures. I've noticed that trend throughout the year. Man, they waiting on the pre-foreclosure. They trying to do this. They trying to do that. You know what I mean? So I'll go ahead and open that. Go ahead and open up that to the realtors on the panel. What y'all think of his strategy, and y'all have something different, or is that a good strategy? And what's
I don't know. I have a question.
Go ahead, Shaq.
I have a question. So if it's pre-foreclosure, are you able to buy it before auction date, or do you have to go to the auction to try to buy it?
Good question.
You can buy
yes, you can.
That. Yeah.
Yes. But you'll still be dealing with the seller, which we call a short sale.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. Answer that question, because I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of the viewers were thinking.
Yeah, but you do a short sale, but that requires you to get into a relationship with the individual seller, and still the bank has the right to accept the offer that you put in for the property, no matter what. What he's doing, it's a solid lead generating tool, because eventually, once you get to the seller, you got all kinds of opportunities to wholesale it, sell it, keep it, whatever you want to do, because you're going to get it for about. In most cases, you can get it for like 65 cents on the dollar if you do it right. And in hopes I hate to wish ill will on the seller if they didn't do what they were supposed to with their mortgage. Yeah, you can get a nice little steal that way. The issue is that how long it takes to find one of those. When he went through all those different steps, that's a lot in itself. Also, once you do the skip tracing, you got to start calling and mailing constantly just to get the seller to trust you enough to talk to you about their personal home. But it does work. You can't just only do that though. If you're planning on using that method, you do that. You still go to the auction. You still call myself, CJ Barry. See what we know. See what we can find out. Those type of videos are great to get people to follow you. But as far as actually applying those methods, it requires a hell of a lot more work than what he's actually saying. Yeah, every county doesn't have that. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that ain't a new strategy. They've been doing that for a minute. And and you're dealing with people with teams that
Yes.
like hit it. So if you like an individual, you're up against a little competition on that. But I mean, like I said, if you can find one that works, it's a nice little lick. But don't think you're the only one out here doing it, because that's been around for a long time.
Right. So what was his goal with that strategy? What was he trying to do? Just
get it cheaper.
Find a property, and get in less than what it's worth.
So that's what investors look for. They look for properties. Well, most investors look for properties that they can get below market value, add a little something to it, flip it, sell it, or buy or hold it, rent it out. So they're always looking for something below market value.
Yeah.
Right. And first dibs, especially in this particular market where it's a lot of competition. So they're looking for any type of strategy that'll give them a leg up.
And that with that also the lender is gonna have to approve that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest hurdle after finding getting a relationship with the seller is dealing with the lender, because that lender has probably changed. Well, the servicer has changed so many times that you be like, I thought it was this, no, it was this. And so,
and the short sale don't mean it's gonna sell fast either. That's a lengthy process.
It's a process. Yeah.
They were 7-8 months, I know, a few years ago, just to do that. I don't think it's that long anymore.
Oh yeah, it still is though, B.
It is 7. Okay, It's
right.
So for a consumer, first of all, this wouldn't be for a novice. This would be for like somebody that has some money and probably try to add this to their utility bill, or what should I say? So what would y'all say? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I mean, if they're gonna pay for a system, like if they're trying to do it like he's doing, one at a time like that, just by themselves, I wouldn't say it's worth it.
It ain't worth it. I'd rather you go put out the signs. Put out the signs, you know what I'm saying? I believe that strategy will work way more because your phone will ring a lot more. Once the phone gets to ringing, hey, it's time to go to work. As long as we answer like the first guy. You got to answer the phone.
Let me ask you this. Is chasing pre-foreclosures worth it?
CJ said it best. If you have a team, yes.
If it's worth it, not just if you have a team, but if you're disciplined enough to stay consistent with it.
Right.
If you just want to do it, 10, 15 times and you lose steam, you're not used to finishing anything, then I would say, just save your money and put it elsewhere. But if you're somebody that's a go-getter, then you could add that to the list of strategies that you're doing. It doesn't have to be the only strategy.
That's gonna be the most time-consuming strategy, though, because that's you could be leveraging your time doing something else, to be honest.
Told you, go and get them signs, man, and drop them out there.
Hey, put that sign out. We buy your mom in them house.
Yeah.
So everybody let me ask you this: wholesaling versus pre-foreclosures.
Wholesaling.
Yeah,
but you can wholesale. You can wholesale pre-foreclosures too.
But he said, would you rather spend your time trying to wholesale a property, buy properties, or wholesale a free pre-foreclosure? It's wholesaling. Your return is a lot faster.
Wholesale, right?
Yep.
Right.
As far as effort, return on your efforts, not necessarily return on money, but efforts.
Right. So this basically this ain't for the faint of heart.
Nah.
Definitely not.
I mean, if you ain't got a lot of bread and you got a lot of time, then okay.
Right.
Well, I would think that's the case for a lot of people starting out.
But even still, wholesaling is still be better than just focus on pre-foreclosure.
But remember
that's the purpose of the clip, because we get this buzzword, and you especially get a lot of clients, man, pre-foreclosure. Y'all might be bugging up the wrong tree. You got a lot of competition in that avenue, and that's investors, and that's all they do. And so what makes you think you gonna come along and get a pre-foreclosure out the blue like that? So a lot of people that get pre-approved in my arena, they wait for a pre-foreclosure.
Nah.
Hey, but they sat in that seminar and they told them they could do it though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But that's the purpose. This is the purpose of the show.
Don't tell them everything.
This is the purpose of the show, and it's the purpose of that particular clip. In particular, hey, you hear these buzzwords or you go to the seminar, but you're barking up the wrong tree. It's not logistically sound to have that strategy. You're gonna be waiting, and everybody that I pre-qualified for CJ that was talking about pre-foreclosure ain't never got one.
They say pre-foreclosure. They wanted a foreclosure.
They wanted a foreclosure or pre-foreclosure.
Pre-foreclosure is a little bit different. Now, foreclosure, you just won't get it at the cheapest price.
Right, because all them joints is bids now. So it's like,
man.
Right. But I've had both. They waiting on the foreclosure. They waiting on. They trying to get something for nothing.
And
in their mind.
And if you think about that, these services and lenders, they don't want to take these houses back, so they're gonna do everything in their power to get them back up to speed. They're gonna be patient with these folks as long as they can before taking their house back.
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
All these folks waiting on these foreclosures. These lenders are not trying. These services, they are not trying to take these houses back. So that's why, like, even from COVID, all these people they got the forbearances and the ones that weren't able to put on the back end on the loan and it was due, they still working with them folks. They are not trying to take these houses back.
Right. So and that's another thing. I think I've done 1 in 8 years, and it was a horrible experience. Because don't forget that the bank has no sense of urgency to close this thing. So I think it took 75 days for us to close this foreclosure.
They don't have the manpower.
That's about right.
And that's the last thing. They're not in a rush to lose money.
None whatsoever.
It's already a loss on their books. They already accounted.
So they don't give a damn about when you come to close. They don't care about none of that.
Banks are not in the business of owning property. They're in the business of loaning you the money for the property.
So
that's why you immediately folks who get new loans, they see that those loans have been sold by the end of the year to someone else when they're asking why my taxes are so high for property taxes. Right. Mm-hmm. I see that all the time with my clients. But I was going to say, hey, with pre-foreclosures and foreclosures, you're not even able to go walk that property, right? You just got to look at it from the outside, right?
You can walk the foreclosures.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But not pre-foreclosures. So we got somebody in there.
Hey, foreclosure. Well, you mean with the seller at that point, but foreclosures, they might not have utilities on.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. You won't really know what you're getting, like if you were just to go and do a traditional way of purchasing, right?
Well, I mean, if you go in
you can still get an inspector.
Yeah, you pay to get the utilities turned on and do your inspections, but like you're not going to get something like well below market value on a foreclosure in most cases.
I'm at to disagree with you on that, CJ. I think the HUD Home Store and Fannie Mae Pathway.
Well,
they have some really nice ones. They have some nice
ones.
And
if you a vet,
you got good deals.
Yeah, VRM, veterans, whatever that stands for. VRM.
You might hit a lick on that.
Yes.
Yes. Vets and what's it? The first, like the police, firemen, like the first spot, they got one for them too.
Right. Yeah, you pick up some good opportunities there. It's not like how it used to be back in the early 2000s where the house would be tore up. They've done a better job in making sure the property's in good, in good shape, but still you can get it at a cheap enough price as long as you find the right neighborhood one in there.
Yeah.
But my point is, for overall arcing this point, for the common borrower that's trying to get pre-qual and then looking for foreclosure or pre-foreclosure, you're barking up the wrong tree. Might be mission impossible unless you're in the country somewhere, unless you're in a area that doesn't have a lot of competition. But for a major metropolitan like Houston, you got, there's so much competition. You got teams of people that's trying to get these properties with bigger banks than you. So it's like with cash money. So it's like, man, you up against a lot. Let's go to that next one. Anything else on this pre-foreclosure point before I go to next one?
Yeah, see, I had an email from a client. I just answered it. So I didn't answer the phone.
Congratulations.
What time is it?
Congratulations, man. The podcast is working, man. The podcast is working.
That on the part of financial advisors.
Hey.
This is one of my favorites right here. Can y'all hear this?
Barely.
Real low.
Yeah.
Man, taxes is 40%. I bought my mother house. I bought this house. A couple jewelry pieces. Those were the big purchases. We went to Paris. We went to St. Lucia, Hawaii. Man. But I went from 1.6 to 2-something. 280. I'm like, oh, this should go fast. I'm gonna cool off because I see.
All right, this is my problem right here. So he said he paid his agent, taxes, bought his mama a house, bought jewelry pieces, but he still had about 700 something thousand. What kind of vacation were you spending? 300-400 grand, and you're only down to 280. My man, I think the biggest problem is not what he's wearing around his neck, the one he has around his arm. Okay, so
that's real, man.
Nah, the problem is what's between his ears, man. He not thinking.
Right.
That too.
Right.
I'll go ahead and open it up because I got some. I got a couple of shots at this one, man.
I go first with those taxes. You hear about athletes all the time getting these blockbuster contracts, but you never really think about what state they're in. I'm here in Texas. We don't have state income tax, right? That's why people have been moving here from California. That's why people have been moving here from New York City, right? All over the country. We don't have state income tax because you have your federal tax brackets like we were talking about. Then there's a lot of states that have state income tax. And then there's some with additional, like Oregon, right? I think they have 2 or 3 additional taxes besides that federal income tax. So if you get $100 million deal, and you're in New York, that $100 million, you're netting 50 after tax. And then you do, everybody think you're rich and you balling. Yeah, you got to buy your mama a house, take a trip, get your piece and chain. It's not much left. So somebody should have had that conversation. He said he had an agent or a representative. Somebody should have told him all that right before he started spending all his money. Right. Or tell me, hey, give me a trade me to the Houston Rockets or the Houston Texans. I don't want the income tax.
I'm down to Texas.
Right? That'll save me $10-12 million.
Show you're right.
Mm-hmm. I mean really,
that's what he probably couldn't control. He probably got drafted. In the league. Right, but I think a lot of veteran players say, when they're considering where they want to move to or who they sign with, they take a look and think about, okay, hey, what's the taxation in that state? But
that's something you said right there, Patrick. That's something you said right there. The veteran players, a lot of these youngsters, they 19, 20, 21, and you give them all that money. You right between the head, they don't know because they've been living in poverty all their life.
Right.
And you sit there and give them $20-30 million.
Right.
I mean,
if you have representation,
I mean, even if it's $5 million, I mean, that's still more money than they probably ever seen in their life.
Somebody should be having that conversation with you. If somebody's negotiating,
and you know what? A lot of these leagues have advisors.
Because they pay. If a sports agent, I'm not sure what the number is, but I'm thinking it's upwards to like 30%, like an attorney, right?
He said 40.
Okay, even more.
40%. Yeah,
not for an agent.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Play the video.
Varies.
He said 40% for no agent.
But I know it can go up.
If he paying his agent 40, that's the first thing.
He ain't paying what it's standardly around 10%. What he was talking about was taxes. Taxes is what he was talking about was the 40%.
Gotcha.
Right, but okay.
Like I already got the next clip queued.
You get a $10 million, 3-year deal. I'm your agent. You paying me 10%. You paying me $1 million, and I'm your agent. Shouldn't I be having that conversation with you?
You should, but here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of athletes, you're a product of your environment, and unfortunately, we take a bunch of bad habits that we've gotten from the older generation that we actually kind of pattern after. If you haven't been taught how to manage money when you were younger and how to actually manage and save and invest, all you know is mom and dad live paycheck to paycheck. My brother and sister that's older than me live paycheck to paycheck. So when I get this money, I don't know how to save because ain't nobody else even know how to save. Nobody else even taught me. So they do a better job now when it comes to these different leagues of having consultants and stuff like that come in, have these classes and things like that. But I think the problem is not necessarily on the leagues, it's on the actual person. If you young, you 21 and you getting $1.6 million, your agent can talk to you. You can have your coach talk to you. You can have anybody talk to you, but at that age, are you going to listen? And a lot of younger kids don't want to listen because they want to floss. They want to floss for their peoples.
You see, he got him 2 pieces in chain. He only needed 1.
No, you just need one chain and get you 2 pieces and you rotate.
Yeah.
But no,
Man, let's
my
keep it funky, man.
point was this.
That
My
piece
point
of
is this.
change.
If you're paying somebody for representation on whatever level it is, they should be having that conversation with you to let you know what you're going to net. All my clients ask me, hey, Patrick, what's the cost to do business with you? What does that look like? Hey, am I going to have to pay any taxes on this? What does that look like? Everybody I sit down with, it doesn't matter if they have 100,000 or $6 million. You're right. Those are the questions that they ask.
Hey, the problem
Man,
now
I got
is
$100, man.
but the problem now is they letting these kids get money sooner in college and high school and stuff. So
yeah,
they're not learning it then, like at that age, and they're already getting the money. Like it's just going to be perpetual once they get like in the pros. It's going to just get even worse.
That's very true. I was reading an article this week, and they were saying that guy from UT, he actually had an NIL money in high school as a senior playing football.
What you got? Yeah. Quarterback or the offensive lineman?
Hughes, the quarterback at UT.
Oh, yeah.
He got NIL money in high school. He set out and got paid and then went to Ohio State and then came to UT. So, yeah, so that's very true. But to Corey's point, right, you know, that education of those conversations is going to have to start a whole lot younger now than they did in the past. I wish I got money when I was playing ball.
What you play,
I'm saving mine for last. I will get everything out, man.
Patrick?
I'm gonna have to mute Mike, man, because you know what I mean. I gotta get on my soapbox on this one.
I was a defensive end. I used to like to hit people real hard.
Did you bend the circle well, LP? Did you bend the circle well?
Huh?
Did you bend the circle well?
Bend the circle. Yeah, I could bend the circle, but I was stronger than those O linemen. You know, I was a whole lot stronger. I just pick them up, throw them on the ground. And
you play D1?
What's that?
D1? You play D1?
No, I played junior college ball. I tore my ACL my senior year.
Yeah, I'm about to say the D1 over the lineman ain't that easy to pick up and move around like that.
Yeah, but my thing, I was able to get my strength back, but I couldn't get my speed down. And in college, everybody's fast. It's all about, you know.
Yeah, he said you weren't gonna throw him down like that.
Yeah. Nah, be 345, 6'7".
Yeah, but yeah, if you're getting paid, you know, at least after that first paycheck, whatever it is, you know, you're gonna be aware. So maybe this guy in this video, he gonna learn with his next deal.
Let's see if we get to it. Let's hope we get to it.
He had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Right. Well, let me start preface it with this. I agree with everything y'all saying, but I don't think everybody addressing the video at hand, the main problem. You know, they addressed it at the end. Let's keep it all the way 100. The problem is who you got around you. Are they for moment? Are they here for this for the lifetime, the long haul? You know, so a lot of people will drain you. A lot of people are around you just because you got something that they want and they can't achieve it by themselves. You know, so you got to be aware of that. And I know as a kid, you're not aware of that stuff, but if you spent $400,000 on vacation, you spent that more than you spent on your mama house. You know, something is wrong with that. You spent, you know, and certain people are they want to travel and stuff like that on your dime. I get it, you going out together and all that, but yeah, some you could get drained. I think, and I got a premise that I'm gonna unleash on the Power of Ownership podcast, man. I think, especially those athletes, and I see why they do it, that you need to take your time and probably don't build up relationships, especially, you know, male-female relationships. I'm talking about get married until you later on in life. I think you at that age where everybody's around you, it's too much coming at you. And you can't tell who's who. You're not mature enough. Your frontal lobe don't develop until you're 25. So you're 19, you're full of testosterone, you got $1 million, a couple of $1 million. You can't see straight. You know what I mean? And they're gonna throw that thing at you because you who you are. And you can't see, you thinking it's love. This ain't no love. This is United Way. What can you do for me?
Right.
You know, so, and I think a lot of us don't have that male figure in our life. We don't have the uncles. We don't have the OGs. All of us, we got nothing but women around us. So they're gonna tell you what they want to hear, and how they want to feel, and which is a lot of times no discipline, no accountability, and they're gonna spin, and you pick up those habits, and before you know it, you have nothing left. So they're gonna spin it all, and they ain't gonna stop. They're like, almost like locusts. Tear this field up, go to the next field. You know what I'm saying? And the next. It's gonna be relentless. But as a youngin, you think it's you. You think you got game. It's not you. It's what you can offer. And a lot of people, we need to form something too. I think the older veterans, and I think they're starting to do this as well. I think Barry mentioned this earlier. They need to have like consultation, because men sharpen men like steel sharpen steel. We need to have men groups to where we mentor these young boys. And especially if athletes need to mentor athletes. Hey, I know where you've been. This how I messed up. You can take it for a grain of salt, but I've been in your shoes. And you got to get outside of mom and them. You got to get outside of sister and them and get a male's perspective of things. To really, especially if you ain't had a father in your life, you ain't had a male figure in your life. You need that energy. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Because if you've been. I'm looking at Hurts. Hurts, raised on his whole team, all females.
Right.
You need that man in your life, bro. You need that man to tell you, hey, bro, you messing up.
But Hurts has his old man though. Remember, Hurts was raised by his dad.
Yeah, his dad's a coach, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
those women got him the highest paid quarterback in history, I think. Right?
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
I think part of that
was
he wanted
Holmes was the highest paid quarterback.
What else since then?
He got his money 2 or 3 years ago. But no, that team of women, I think he did that intentionally so that he could have greater representation in the league and all of that good stuff.
Gotcha.
But I feel your point. I don't think the gender really matters. I think it's just you have to find you a mentor. Whoever that person's going to be, because a woman would tell that young guy what that girl on his arm was thinking in the video.
But there's different energies. There's masculine and feminine principles. You can't get around that. Those are the principles of the universe.
B, you try to get us canceled, man. You want here with these Texas comments, man? Hey, look, you can't say that, man.
What do you mean? It's a fact.
No, man, come on.
So you're telling me there's not masculine and feminine energies?
There is different energies, but what you're saying is you're saying that a woman can't do as good of a job as a man. Is what the way I hear it.
I said you need that masculine energy in your corner somewhere.
Right, and that's why I said you got to find a mentor. I picked up a lot of things from a lady who used to do the work that I do. A lot of good stuff that I use now. Some bad stuff left it behind, but I took away some powerful takeaways.
I'm not saying that but it is proven that a single man does better job to raising the boy than a single woman would.
It's also proven that diverse board of directors with at least 50% of women on them outperform other Fortune 500 companies with 100% men.
Oh, we got a debate on our hands. Let's go.
You need that balance.
I mean, but that's as an employee role. I would agree with that because women are more agreeable. So
running companies, running Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, but who is the owner?
Calling the shots.
Yeah, who is the owner though? Well, if you sitting on the board, that don't mean you own it. You're running it, but you're running it for the owners.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I could put you in the box, and we
know who owns everything, but that wasn't the point.
Wait, say it again.
I said we know who owns everything, but that wasn't the point at hand.
My point is a difference. Is a difference of what I'm saying. Yes, I will agree. That's why a lot of, especially in corporate America, that's why they have a lot of females, because I would definitely put a female in there because I can control it better. A man go both heads of them.
Oh, God dang, B. You're killing us, man. You're killing us. Oh, B. Move on to the next topic, B. You get us in trouble, man. Move on to the next topic. Because you digging a bigger hole.
24 like this, man. Hey,
I
He
mean,
coming in 2024 strong.
Is they not more agreeable than a man? Because you gonna what y'all doing right now? Y'all gonna bump heads with me.
I'm gonna put a woman on the board so I can control the bee.
Is that not a fact?
No, that's not a fact. Hell no.
The issue is that he used the wrong choice of words when he said controlling. That's all.
right.
She's gonna be more
I
agreeable
think
to
he
what I'm
meant
saying.
that.
He probably did mean that, but in the context,
just
it's
say
a
it
better
right.
word. That's all.
Ain't no saying it right. I'm taking no prisoners, man.
On the
Hey,
panel,
you can add that disclaimer across the bottom of
Brandon
my
B. Dix has
screen that say,
misspoke.
Nah,
I'm controlling
I
women.
agree with all of Brandon B. Dixon's statements. Or points
Hey,
of
look,
view.
add that disclosure to mine
Yeah,
too. You know what I'm saying? Right up here, you know what I'm saying? Look.
Hey, I stand on that. That is the reason why you would hire females, because they are by nature more agreeable. A man is gonna bump heads with you.
So you trying to say a female can't have her own opinion?
Nah, you adding words to it. Listen to what I said. They're gonna be.
You're
more
saying that
agreeable.
you're telling the woman what to do and what to say.
No, I'm
You're
saying they're
controlling the woman. That's your word, not mine.
to be more agreeable.
Is that
You
not the
did say
same
control.
thing?
You did say control.
He did
though.
say control. Come on, B.
Okay, so how did
Control, dog. The issue is that the word.
how do we go from this
control.
guy spending all this money to controlling women? I don't.
Well, B's correlation to that is that
go from
because of the
how
young
do-
lady he
how
had
do
on
we
his
go
shoulder,
from
he
that?
spent
You
way
brought
too
that
much
point
money.
up about. You brought that fraudulent point up about that. You're insinuating that if a woman raised corporation, which I don't doubt, because they're not the owner. Now let's go single entrepreneurs. That's a different ball game than on a board.
It's proven though. That was proven.
But there's a thing about single entrepreneurs that's different than a corporate board. That's different. But who's the real owners though?
That doesn't matter. When it gets to that level, everything is
Y'all
everything has
lost
to be
in the
approved by
sauce.
the board anyway.
Nah, y'all lost in the sauce. Y'all don't get it. I'm gonna put.
We don't
y'all
get
get it. Yeah, y'all don't get it.
Right.
Y'all don't get it.
Y'all might as well agree to disagree.
Right.
Yeah, I agree to disagree. I don't want. Again, like I said, it's a landmine topic. I can't say exactly what I want to say.
You said it already, man.
You done said it, B. You can't say nothing.
It's
You done
nah,
said it
when you
already.
get your,
The
when
only
you
thing
get-
you can do right now, B, is just clean up the statement by saying,
Nah,
I
I
don't mean you
stand
can
on that.
control.
I
Wait,
stand
wait.
on that.
Please put the
You don't
train
have
back
to
on
say
the tracks
control.
because you done
When you
derailed
said
that thing.
women are more agreeable, that is very
Right.
true. They're agreeable.
It's
But the
a
issue
fact.
is the trigger word is control.
I can
That's the
control them better.
There you go again.
He trying to clean it up for you, B.
I'm
He
just
trying to clean
I
it
ain't
up
trying
for
to
you.
clean it up. I was. If I wanted,
He didn't say he couldn't
I had a
control the
manager of
land.
the business.
He didn't say he
If
couldn't
I
control the
was
land. He said he
I'm
could control the
gonna
woman
put
better.
a female in there. Hey, I need X, Y, and Z. She's gonna be agreeable and get the job done.
Well, let me
If
ask
he
you
don't
this,
agree with
B.
it, he's not gonna be
B,
agreeable with
let me
that.
ask you
A
this.
guy, if
If
you
she's
put
more
a guy in that
agreeable
same
and you can
position, he's
control
gonna
her,
do that
then
as
why don't
well.
you just do it?
I can't hear both of y'all talking.
Oh, okay. I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
if she's more agreeable and you can control it, then why don't you just do it? Why you hiring her?
Because I can't be everywhere at
Or
one
if
time.
But you can still put a male in that same role, and if he's working for
Yeah,
you,
but I
he's
don't
gonna do
want
the same things
to bump
as
heads
women
with
do.
certain time. I don't want to bump
But
heads
if you
with
the owner, like you said,
right now in certain
they gonna do what you
situations,
tell them, right?
if it's a sales
Exactly, that's my point. Exactly, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't
Nah,
matter
if
who
it's
it
a
is.
sales job, it's most likely male because they're gonna be on it. They're gonna be more on it. Now, if it's more of an admin job, I would say more of a female because they're gonna be more agreeable.
All right, so here's the thing.
Yeah,
If we take
I
the
disagree.
example that he put it,
All
and
right,
if you
let me
take the
put it
example
to you
as he
like
put
this.
it, right?
Or
Let's
have
use.
you ran a business yet that grows over $1 million?
Do what?
Oh, there you go.
Have you ran a business yet to this day that grows for more than $1 million a year?
No.
All right, case closed. Big bank, take little bank.